ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Anye, others, sacrificing by the yajna, sacrifice of knowledge, worship me as the one, ekatvena, prithaktvena, as separate, and bahudha vishvato mukham, and as manifold, present everywhere. So, first of all, he says, yet others perform what he calls as jnana yajna. So let's take a look at yajna. What is yajna? Yajna, or fire worship, consists of a fire being started in the kund, and then as the priests are chanting mantras, there is an offering. It's called ahuti. You offer ghee or grain or whatever it is, or little wooden pieces into the fire. And when you offer these inflammable things into the fire shoots up, is kindled. So in every yajna, in the ritual, there is an offering and there is a kindling. Now here he is not talking about the ritual because he calls it jnana yajna, the yajna of knowledge, the sacrifice of knowledge. Now what is this? In this, there are still two things. When you gain knowledge, when you go through the procedure of gaining knowledge, study, reflection, etc., what are you doing? You are offering your ignorance into the fire, and what is getting kindled is knowledge of the self. So, jnana yajna, others sacrifice by jnana yajna, and they worship me as ekatvena, means advaita, prithaktvena, dvaita, and vishishtadvaita. But the end result of all this, the end result of knowledge, is not knowledge of the Vedas, it's not knowledge of the books, it's not winning a Nobel Prize. The fruit of all this knowledge that you acquire is bahudha vishvato mukham. You see this divine force, you see God everywhere. It is not to be seen only in a temple, church or mosque. It is not to be seen only in a religious practice or ritual. Once this knowledge of the self gets to you, wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you see, you only see Brahman, God. It's like you see your reflection in any mirror that you go to, in any reflecting surface for that matter. Wherever there is a reflecting medium, you see yourself. And this understanding is similarly in the world a self-realized person has. So, ekatvena is advaita. The proponent, Shankaracharya, was the major proponent of advaita. Advaita means non-dual. There is only one Brahman, ekam, advitiyam, with no duality, there is no second. Then there was the concept of dvaita, which most bhaktas have. There is the bhakta, me, and there is the Lord that I am worshipping. And Vishishtadvaita is a compromise between the two. And these three were at loggerheads with each other because they didn't understand the basics. What he's saying here is, whichever path you follow, you reach the same end. The end is oneness. So, Hanuman is considered the greatest bhakta. But even he, once when he was asked, what is your relationship with Rama? And he said, Deha bhavena dasosmi. When I look at my body, I am your servant. Jiva bhave tvadamshaka. When I consider my mind and intellect, I am a part of you. With the mind and intellect, you're almost knocking at the doors of Atman, not quite there. So there is an element of separateness. But even Hanuman, the greatest bhakta, said, Atma bhave tvame vaham. When I look at Atman, you and I are one. So it's Advaita, Dvaita and Vishishta Advaita are nothing but different angles, different ways of looking at the same thing. There's no conflict between them. And then Bahudha Vishvatomukham, all pervading. You can worship in any way. There is this maturity, there is this tolerance, but the end result must be that you see God everywhere. You know, Narada once, the great sage Narada, didn't understand how this works. So he asked Krishna, he says, what is the essence of spirituality? There's so much of profound literature. You tell me in simple words, what is the essence of spirituality? And Krishna smiled and vanished, he disappeared. So Narada went around that village looking for Krishna. And he found wherever he went, whoever he spoke to, either spoke like Krishna or looked like Krishna. There's something about him, about everyone in the village that reminded him of Krishna. And then he understood the essence of spirituality is the ability to see Krishna means Atman, Brahman, everywhere, in everything. So the Upanishad, Kenopanishad, gives us the method of getting there. You see, when you look at superficial things, you look at externals, you look at the physical thing, you must necessarily see separateness. Even a mother with her own child, however much love she may have for the child, physically she is different. If the child has fever, she doesn't get fever. So there is a separateness. But when she identifies with the mind, when the child gets fever, she suffers as much as the child does, perhaps more. So there is this oneness that takes place. When she identifies with the intellect, this spirit of oneness cuts across and encompasses a much larger cross-section of people. But when she identifies with Atman, she sees no separateness. So this ability to go beyond the superficial aspects, to go beyond the body, mind and intellect and zero in on Atman is the method. And the Kenopanishad tells us how to get there. Iha cheda vedi datha satyamasti na chediha vedin mahati vinashtihi bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitya dhira pretyasma lokadamruta bhavanti. Iha cheda vedit atha satyamasti. If you understand this truth here, what is the truth? Bahudha Vishvato Mukham, that is this oneness everywhere. Then you have reached the truth. It is the truth. Satyamasti. Nachediha vedin mahati vinashtihi. If you don't realize this truth here, it is the greatest of greatest losses. So he uses two superlatives. Nashta means loss. Vinashta, greatest of loss. Mahati vinashti, greatest of greatest loss. And he uses this because it's the most tragic thing that we as human beings, the only species in creation that has been gifted with the ability to get to the state of realization. Because of this subtle intellect that we have. And all that we're doing is wasting our time, leading a life that is worse than that of animals. And this is that Mahati Vinashti. The only thing is, fortunately for us, we don't understand the loss, we don't understand the supremost loss, we don't understand anything. So we get by. But a person who has awakened to that and understands that it's so much potential you have, and that the fact that you're doing nothing about it is the supremost loss. And then he says that wise, dhiraha, what do? Through every element, through every experience, they just get to the bottom of it and they understand there is Atman there. Through every element, reflecting, bhuteshu, bhuteshu, vichitya dhira. They rise above the world and get to that state of immortality. So, this is the method of getting there. And now he moves on to verse 16.